Welcome to the Lady NightHawk show, where we talk about interesting topics, and we have people that come on to sing, dance, and we just do a lot of different things here. But when it's things that we find out that is very important to you, because we realize that a lot of people are not watching news channels, but the people that do watch us or approach us and let us know, oh yeah, I heard that, we want to make sure that we give you pertinent information. I'll call him my co-host. He's going to introduce himself to you. You know him. He's a household name. He's a favorite, okay? So introduce yourself. You don't have to, but you do, okay?
Well, thank you and good evening. My name is Donald Bell. I'm an attorney here in Maryland. I'm based here in Prince George's County. I've been here in the county for the last 20 plus years, and I love serving the community here. And I am so happy to be back here in the studio with you, and thank you for inviting me back.
And I'm always glad when you accept.
Yes.
And you have some things here that are very important that we need to try to cover this show.
Sure.
Because we got off. I just went off on a tangent because that was on my mind on the other show, and I just wanted to make sure I got it.
You're entitled to that. You're entitled to that.
But these are very important topics that you gave me, and one of them is we talked about, and I had one today. I was telling you earlier about scammers and what they're doing to season and the growing threat. So why are seniors targeted?
Yeah, so this has really been on my heart. We've talked about it. We sort of hit on it before, but there's a growing problem with seniors being targeted with scams. And I thought maybe we should just take a few minutes and sort of address this, because I think many people who watch the show are seniors, and these people are good people, and sometimes they're being taken advantage of. So it's not that seniors are less. We just want to less than. We just want to see if we can empower them with knowledge. So when people come at them, or when the scammers come at them, they'll know how to handle these situations.
Yes.
Because there are resources. A lot of seniors don't think that they have resources, but you have resources. A lot of you have you have Social Security, you got pensions, you got 401ks, you got like annuities from the federal government. So you have these resources, but those resources, they aren't it's not like you're out working and can work overtime and things of that nature. You got to use these resources to pay for your, for your housing, to pay for your food, to pay for your medication and things of that nature. And what we don't want to have happen is situations where those limited resources are being used for others, are being taken and being scammed. I don't want you to lose your house. I don't want you to lose your savings, because you've worked a lifetime to sort of, acquire these things, and you worked a lifetime. Even if you just have Social Security, you worked a lifetime to be able to have that. And that Social Security is for basic needs and necessities. For most seniors, it's not like you got extra money.
It's none. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
There's no extra money.
Yeah.
You have to, if your medicine is not coming out, of that, then the medicine's not covered under, Medicare or WellCare.
Yeah.
Then you have to come out your pocket or go to one of your kids or family member. Okay.
Yeah.
When the utility bills come around, if you live alone,
Yes.
because we know that the electricity and stuff, unless somebody puts a stop to it and they give us a credit, out of this world, for it, because this is the first time in a long time that the temperatures have been as high as they are, and you've had to run your air conditioning. But I manage mine to a T. Okay.
Yeah.
Once the house gets high, I turn it up so it turn off. Then I try to cool the house at nighttime, so then the daytime is already cool, and I can turn it off for a period of time. So you got to try to, you don't have to let that thermostat run all the time. And if you don't have a fan, buy one, okay? Because while the house is cool, you kind of can cool off an area where you're going to be,
Yeah.
But like you said, Social Security, you can't make it off of Social Security these days.
But what we don't want to have happen is that scammers who are contacting you, and I thought, before the show, before the first show, you were telling me about, because one of the first things that I wanted to talk about was, some of the Medicare scams that are out there, where people are calling you and they're trying to get your personal information. They want your Medicare number, they want your social, they want your date of birth, you know, and they know things about you, and you're wondering like, how did it? Well, it must be legitimate. So, you know, I want to turn the floor over back to you so you can tell us about what happened to you, because I think it's very relevant.
It's right on this paper, okay? But I do want to read some of these bullets, because it's very easy for them to kind of comprehend if I read some of your bullets first. Sure. Because it says, how the scammers get over on the seniors, and he wrote, we target often home during the day and more likely to answer calls. Now, sometimes senior citizens just like to talk to somebody. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's how they know that. So that's how they get them there, you know, because they know that their home, you know, might be by themselves. But be careful
about what information that you're giving people.
That's right.
You know, anytime somebody's asking you for your social security number, your Medicare number, your date of birth, you know, and they start talking to you like they know information about you.
Then you know it's time to get off the phone.
Yeah, be careful about other information you're giving, like your maiden name, because a lot of times you may be using stuff like that for passwords and stuff like that. So you gotta be careful about that information, because one scammer may call you, then another scammer may send you an email, and you know, and before you know it, all your information is out there. You know, like they may not ask you for your full social, they may ask you for the last four. You know, and then this scammer asks you for the first four. You know, and you giving the last four here, the first four there. And then before you know it, you know, somebody has your social security number or your date of birth. So you got to be careful about that type of stuff.
Some people are more trusting and unfamiliar with modern scam tactics, which we're going to talk about a few of them. And some have memory or cognitive issues, making them more vulnerable. And they know, so, you know, they know who to target. If they talk to you one time, they know who to call, right? So common scams targeting seniors is Medicare scam, fake calls asking for Medicare numbers, tech support scams, fake pop-ups or calls claiming infections on your computers or your phones. Grandparent scams, fake grandchildren calls, asking for bail money. Oh, that was a big thing at one point, okay? And romance scams, online relationships that ask for money. Now, I don't know nothing about that, okay?
But, you know, but that is a big thing. I've had clients who've actually come into my office, and I've had ladies who've had, and gentlemen, who've had to file bankruptcy because they have emptied out their bank accounts. They have like ran up their credit cards, and they have like some person online that they've been involved in a relationship with. Never met this person, but they've been involved in this relationship. They may have even FaceTime this person, you know, done like a Zoom call or something like that, and you know, and they're supporting these people. Or it may be a situation where they say, hey, you know, invest in this business with me, or invest in this business, and these people are like, hey, I'm gonna do this, and it's a scam. So just be cognizant and be careful. And I think, you know, something that you really need to do is, if somebody's asking you for money, or, you know, then be careful about sending somebody money. You know, if somebody is telling you, hey, I want you to send the money through Western Union or through MoneyGram or Zelle, or, you know, they want you to go and do the crypto thing, because I think there are like machines where you can go and take the cash and put it in the machine and send it off, you know, via crypto or something like that, or they want you to go get a gift card or something like that. No. That's a flag. No, you need to hang up. You need to log off. Okay? If somebody's asking you for money, and block it. Take some time. You know? Take some time. Don't send the money right off. You know, because I know it's easy to send it like through Zelle, like what you just said, or Cash App or something like that. But just take some time. Go have a cup of coffee. You know, and then talk to somebody. Talk to somebody, and that's what do you think about this? You know, before you just say yes to somebody and send off your money. And send your money off. Oh no, you definitely need to talk to somebody. You know, they call your office and ask. You know, does this sound like it's a fake call? You know. But if you call my office, then I'm gonna really be upset at who's trying to scam you. So you know, I'm gonna be trying to use every resource that I can to sort of figure it out. But you know, some of these scammers are not even in the, but they're not even in the country. Well, so we can't even use, you know,
some of our laws
to even enforce trying to get your money back. One of our good, you know, one of our colleagues, you know, Mr. Levin, I was in his office, and there was a company that had scammed this older couple out of $4,000 to try to help them with a loan modification.
Wow.
And he worked the phones, calling the senators. I'm not going to say the senator's name, but they helped, and he was able to help them get their money back.
Van Hollen probably was.
It was.
I know it is. Because
you
Van
said
Hollen
it, I didn't.
He's on the point.
You said it, I didn't. But yeah,
Van Hollen.
But they
PG County though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, these scammers, they're out there, and you don't need to be sending your hard-earned money to these people.
Yeah, I tell people about Van Hollen all the time because he really is really good congressman, and he has a good staff that will, if you tell them what the problem is, if they can fix it, they're gonna let you know, and they right on it, you know. So I always talk about him. Okay, so it's okay. I'm in PG. He's my rep. Okay, I can talk about
I got
him.
you.
Okay. So, but this thing that I was worried about was about the romance scams, online relationships to ask for money. Well, you know what? When they first started that, I was telling some of my friends, right? We were younger, and they were going online. I said, "Why are you going online meeting somebody that you know nothing about?" Okay. Well, it's just like me going in the grocery store and meeting somebody. I said, no, it's not. Because in the grocery store, at least you have face-to-face contact with them. You can give up your number or not. You can meet another few times, you know, before you get involved in them. You immediately, when I hear and I talk to you, you immediately jumped into this relationship with somebody that you never met before. You know, and I said, you need to stop doing it. Years ago, I told her to stop doing that.
I think anytime, you know, I saw a statistic that over 60% of marriages now are initiated from some type of online type of interaction and whatnot. That's how people are meeting these days.
I know,
but the point that I want to make is and reiterate is, if you meet somebody and they asking you for money, that's a red flag. Yeah, that is a red flag. If you meet somebody at the grocery store,
that's a red flag,
and they start asking you for money or they want you to pay their bills, that's a red flag.
Or every time you go out to dinner, you paying.
Yeah.
You know, or anything.
Yeah.
You know, and they got some sob story about their gas or utility. You got them too.
But if you're a senior and you retired, then the only bills that you should be paying are your bills.
Your bills, that's right.
Okay, so anybody else that's asking you to pay their bills, to me, that's a red flag. That's a red flag.
That's a red flag to me. And that's one of the reasons why I'm by myself today, okay? Because I'm not going online, because I gave that big old lecture when it first started, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going online. I don't go out, you know, and so I'm okay. I'm content because you don't know who to trust and who not to trust.
It's very difficult to trust people,
you know,
particularly people that you meet online.
Yeah.
So what I'm just telling you is, I'm not telling you don't do it, but what I'm telling you is recognize the red flags. Don't be sending money to somebody.
That's the biggest thing, because
your resources are limited anyway.
Or giving out your personal information, like your passwords, you know, your account numbers. They say, oh, I need your account number, and you just, okay, and give somebody your account number, you know. I had somebody I talked to the other day, and they said, I have to get off the phone with you because somebody is using my bank card. You understand what I'm saying? So, she said, and I didn't give it to anybody. So, you know, you don't know whether a person called. I got off the phone with that person because it might have been somebody that said that they was her creditor. Because I know they're very careful about what they do, but they got her, you know. But
I think one of the tips that I'm going to give you is something that I just want, that you've already said. You said it, and I just want to go back to it, because I think it's very important. If you on the phone and somebody's asking you for this information, because you said this is why I want you to tell the story, hang up.
Oh, yeah.
Hang up the phone.
Yeah.
Just hang up the phone, and if it's Medicare, because you told me you did this.
I'm gonna tell you today, because I do it all the time. I hang up with people all the time. Okay.
So why don't you? Because I thought it was so good when you.
I saw this. It was right on point.
Yeah.
Because today it happens so often. You know, somebody calls, and usually it happens maybe a month within the month or a month after you've been to the doctor.
Okay.
Okay, that's when you usually get these calls and they say they want to verify something.
Okay.
So I got a call today because I have been to physical therapy.
Okay.
Okay. And so the lady says, oh, we're calling the Medicare senior. There is no such place called, see why we talk? There is no such person, place, or business called Medicare seniors, okay? I called the Medicare people as soon as I got off the phone.
But let's go back to that. What'd you do?
Called the Medicare people.
So
I called
you called
Medicare.
Medicare.
I called Medicare myself. I have their number.
So you hung up when the folks was trying to get the information from you.
Yes.
You hung up.
I hung up.
And you did what?
Called Medicare, and I gave them the phone number that I had gotten the phone number from, they called me, and what they said, who they were, right?
Okay.
But the person how they started out, oh, we're with Medicare, and we're Medicare seniors, and we noticed you just went to, physical therapy, and you need something for this, and this, and it'll be free. I just need to verify some information. I said, ma'am, they got commercials, and I want to say this to you, pay attention to those commercials. They got commercials on television that tell me not to talk to you, don't give you nothing, or don't verify no information. Click, okay? I hung up.
And click is?
Mr. Click.
Okay.
That when you hang up the phone.
Yeah.
The old kids used to call him Mr. Click.
Okay.
Mr. Click is the telephone. Hang up on him. Do not give out, don't verify any information, okay? Because then I called Medicare. So you need to put that in your contacts for a good number to call. Anybody that calls you, there is no place, let me say that one more time, that Medicare is using, it's called Medicare Seniors, okay?
Well, it's not associated with Medicare.
That's not, well, there might be a place, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But they're not affiliated with Medicare and your billing. When I talked to Medicare, Medicare told me, the other thing is that the phone numbers, because this one particular phone number, they kept calling, I don't answer numbers that I don't know. Yeah. So today it said on the top of it, United States government. That's the only reason why I answered the phone, because sometimes
and I'm so glad you're mentioning this right now.
Yeah.
So please listen to what Paul is saying right now.
Okay. So I called back. I got one the other day that said the IRS. I don't know the IRS. I ain't called them people, right? But United States government, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if somebody saw the show, wanted to ask me something, whatever, right?
Maybe,
so
maybe the president may be calling.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? So I answered I dialed the people. I answered the phone, and when the lady started with this stuff about Medicare seniors and you've been in the I just went to the doctor's office. PT. I just went to PT. So she told me everything that they just did, right? So she said, well, can you your name is so and so? I said, click, okay, because once you start verifying information, then it's almost like you're saying okay to them, okay? Yes. So don't verify anything. Hang up the telephone. The number that they call from you have it. If you have a caller ID, you have that number. Call Medicare. Call Medicaid. Wherever it's coming from, your health care, secondary insurance, wherever it's coming, call those people, Humana, whoever.
Blue Cross,
Blue Shield, United Healthcare, it does not matter. Call them and say, I just got a phone call from this number, and these people say that you have a program that does this, and they wanted to send me some back braces and some other stuff. I hung up the phone. The lady said, man, let me look you up right quick. So she looked me up, and she says, and see, I don't mind that because I know I have Medicare's phone number, okay? Yeah. So she looked me up. And you called
Medicare.
And I called Medicare. And Medicare said, man, we don't have any callbacks from you, because I hadn't been answering the phone. She said, we don't see anywhere where anybody's called you. We don't have a section that we call Medicare seniors. She said, so you did the right thing. She said also that, I said, well, here's the number so you can record it, that I did not order anything. Tell them what they were trying to order for you so they can put it on file, okay? That if it comes through there, they don't need to pay it because you have identified. Get the person's name that you talked to at Medicare. Write down the name, the date, and the time that you talked to them, what it was about, and the phone number that you gave to them. Okay, that's very important. So if it ever comes back to smack you in your face, you have that information. This is the other thing that she said. I said, because I don't even answer the phone because it said United States government. She said, well, what they're doing is they're cloning. After they call you so many times and you don't answer the phone, they're cloning like United States government, IRS, places that you go, they know you will pick up the phone for and have it at the top of their phone number, and that's not who it is. She also says that they found out that they have an influx of people getting information from your doctor's offices, you know, scamming, what do you call that thing? Getting information from them. From them, and they're using that information from the doctor's offices to call people and try to get you to partake. So I'm just saying that it's so important that you hang up the phone, you know. If you're, and one big clue is I just went to the doctor, I just went to PT, so I know they wasn't ordering anything for me, so that's what first clue. Order what? Nah, click, okay? But do not give out your information to people and tell them, okay, give me a number and I'm gonna call you back. And then verify and see if it's a Medicare number. You know, if you put your Medicare number, you put the Office of Medicare, the Office of Medicaid, your insurance company, Humana, whoever it is, you should have it on a piece of paper so that you can verify those numbers when people call you, okay? And then you could call those people back because they actually record your calls. All of them do. So they know what calls are going into you and what calls are coming out. So call. Don't give out any information. Don't even verify anything, okay? Unless you call somebody yourself, you know what I mean? Then you know that was a number that you called.
And one more thing, what I want you all to start doing is I want you to keep close eye on your bank accounts, okay, on your credit card statements, you know, on all your financial accounts, because I want you to know when somebody is taking money out of your account and is unauthorized, so you can immediately let that financial institution know.
And
you know, if you got a credit card,
yes,
and you let them know within a certain number of days, if you let them know, you know, like within 24 hours, then they're not going to even charge you for it once they verify that it was fraud. Same thing with your bank account. If you let them know immediately, you know, that you know there was an unauthorized transaction with my debit card or something like that, chances are they're going to reverse that transaction and give you back your money. But if you let it go 30 days or something like that, because if you're only looking at it when you get your Social Security or when your pension or your annuity comes in, and you've had like fraudulent activity on your account that's been more than 30 days, it may be hard to undo those transactions at that point in time. So I want you to maybe once a week. I mean, if you're a senior, you're at home and you don't have a whole lot to do, just go look at your accounts like once a week. Go online, or you know, look at the bank statements. Like, you know, let's be more aware of what's going on. And if you got problems and you don't feel like you can handle it, I mean, I'm quite sure there's a family friend or a family member or a church member or somebody that you can trust. Find somebody that you can trust, you know, to sort of help you with that. And
like I said, that just happened to somebody that I know, you know, but she knew what to do. You know, she hung up and she immediately called her insurance, the credit card company, and said that somebody's, you know, been using my card. And like you said, it's an immediate thing, you know. And the other thing too is that not just with those kind of bills, you need to look at, you know, Medicare, your insurance company.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about this.
They will send you a statement every month telling you to make sure that you verify that yes, I did have that doctor's appointment. Oh yes, I did go see that doctor. Oh yeah, I did have that medicine. Because they're using, like the lady said on the phone, they're actually going into these doctor's offices and they're hacking their systems, okay? And the pharmacies, and that's really frightening because you think that you're safe, and I know that I used to do it before we started talking about these things on this show. I would take that Medicare thing to come in or my insurance thing, and I just put it up because I just knew that it was okay. And now I look at it. When the statement comes in, I look at it and see.
Well, you told me, I think you would want to tell me that you know, that certain doctors aren't coding things correctly and they're charging more than what they should. To Medicare, and sometimes it may be prescriptions and things of that nature. So that's the reason why people want this information, because they can go out and they can probably get prescriptions, and you know, they can get like services and things of that nature. So you don't want that on yours. you know, and then all of a sudden you got like a fraud investigation going on. So take a look at those statements and make certain and verify. Look, yeah, I did go to the doctor on this day, but I didn't get this done and I didn't get that done.
Absolutely, because that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
In fact, it was the Medicare people. They called. They sent me a note and asked me, "Is this happening to you? Because this doesn't make sense, right?" And I looked. I didn't realize that the person was billing for stuff that was ridiculous to me, because I always said, well, you know, I might as well go to so-and-so place to get this done if they charging me this money for what they do, right? And Medicaid was on top of it. So Medicare, you know, you look at those statements, you know, because they will send you a letter and let you know, hey, this looks kind of funny, you know, is this supposed to be, did this happen? Did you do this? So those statements, like I said, we said all your insurance companies, whomever you have, it's very important that you watch and make sure the person is being billed for what they're being billed for, because they, especially senior citizens, they depend on you not looking at that bill, okay? And not just senior citizens, they depend on anybody not looking at their statement that comes in that says the services that they had or the medications that they've had. And it's very dangerous, and it's very, these times are very, very bad.
So I just want to say one thing before we end. We're not saying that seniors are gullible and that they're not capable of taking care of their affairs. But what we're trying to do is we're just trying to empower you with knowledge and just some plain common sense ways of handling these situations. Because what we don't want to have happen is you get scammed and now we got to sort of, you know, pick up the pieces after you get scammed, because once the money is gone, sometimes it's just gone. And
you can't do anything about it.
You can't get it back, you know.
No. And so they even have the IRS and Social Security scams, you know. They threat that they're going to arrest you unless you make payment. Call IRS yourself.
Hang up the phone.
You hang up the phone first.
Do not.
And call Social Security or IRS yourself.
If the sheriff office call you saying, if you don't pay this money, we go come pick you up, hang up the phone
and call the sheriff's office. I have done that. They didn't threaten me with something, but it was a ticket, right? And I called them. I said, I don't have no tickets. So I called the Maryland Department of DMV and said, look, I got a ticket, and I don't even live in that area, right? And the lady said, good thing that you called. You need to tell your friends, because she said it happens all the time. Okay, so you know, you just need to call these places and let them know if you know something wrong. DMV, these people are very nice, and they're used to seeing these scams come through. Okay, so when you call them, you're not the first person that happened to them, and they're more than willing for you to get it straight. You know, ticket, you know, could have put a point on my license, and I know I don't even go nowhere, right? And so the lady handled it right then. So with that, we try to give you pertinent information, especially IRS and Social Security. Please be careful and make sure that you don't let somebody threaten you and saying you're going to be arrested. You know, we missed it. We missed the vibe, but okay, but I did.